Alright, we are into the final part of our revision video on demand and supply. Now, for this final part, we are going to focus on a change in demand here. You see, change in demand, change in supply, and how QT and market price would be changed. Alright, now this video we will focus mainly on doing questions. Alright, because the theory itself is not that important and not that difficult, to be completely honest, but more about the application. Alright, so first of all, let us only talk about demand first. 係嘛？我哋先講 demand， 再講 supply， 之後先加埋一齊啊。Now we talk about demand first. Now when we talk about demand, when there is an increase in demand, now obviously when people want more, then you can expect the number of transaction. The number of transaction here would of course decrease. All right. Now, but the important thing is about market price. Now think about it. When demand increase, it means that this good is becoming more popular. When something becomes more popular, right? As a seller, of course you will increase the price. 受歡迎，梗係賣貴啲啦。If you remember my story during my lesson, I said that. Now, some times ago, when you know Japan, there was a radiation, 係咪啊？嗰陣時日本咧有輻射啊。So there was a rumor that salt is good for anti-radiation. So in China, a lot of people actually went out to get salt. Now, salt originally the price was like a bag of salt is like $5 renminbi. At that time, it became so popular that I think one bag of salt was sold at around 120 renminbi and still out of stock. 賣到5蚊變咗120蚊，一樣都係賣斷市啊，係咪啊？ So you see, as some things become more popular, actually the price would go up. Okay, 係咪啊？ Would go up. Now, obviously, when demand decrease, this will decrease. Now, how do we write it? How do we represent it in a graphical form? Here, let's focus here. Now, supply unchanged. Now, this is the original demand. D1, what? Let's call it D1. Now, with sorry. This is our P1. This is our Q1. Now, with an increase in demand, rightward shift, you see both price and both quantity would go up, right? 係咪升同埋升啦 right? So this is the way we represent it using a so-called diagram, a graph form. All right. Now I'm not going to do the decrease because it will only confuse you, make this diagram too confusing. So let's do supply. Again, when someone supply more, it means that the market, there will be more goods available. So quantity transacted will also increase. Obviously here will decrease. Now, but this time is a little bit different. Like the old Chinese saying goes, 係咪啊？物以罕為貴啦。Here, when the supply increases, it means it becomes less rare. 冇咁罕有啊啲嘢係咪啊？ When it becomes less rare, then we know price would decrease. 冇咁罕有咪唔會賣咁貴咯，係咪啊？ For example, diamond. How come diamond is so expensive? Because it is rare, not enough quantity, 係咪啊？因為唔夠啦，好罕有啦。So it is very expensive. Let's say right now we find way more diamond, and suddenly everyone can have diamond. Then I think the price obviously would goes down, right? So here goes up. Let's do it graphically. Now this time we want demand to be constant, but here we have a supply 1. Now obviously this is our P1, this is our Q1. Now this time let's do a decrease in supply. Okay, decrease, remember, right is increase, left is decrease. Applies to both demand here, applies to both demand and supply. Now, so this time we want to decrease in supply, let's shift our supply curve to the left. Come on. To the left. Now you see, yes, quantity goes down, right? But price goes up, right? This is a graphical representation of how we draw the diagrams. All right, not too difficult. So you see here, demand increase, same direction. Supply increase, different direction. 係咪一個升一個跌啦 ？Demand 升咧就係兩個都升嘅。All right, now with all these effects stacking up together, we will go into some complication. 我哋有少少複雜啦，就會 a little bit of complication we need to face. Now here, let's say demand again, demand increase leads to increase in price, increase in quantity. Supply increase leads to decrease in price, increase in quantity. Look at quantity first. Both increase. That is why when both demand increase and supply increase, we know that quantity would increase, right? What about price? Here you see one increase, one decrease. So we are uncertain about the change in price, but then this time it is given that the increase in demand here, this guy is bigger, this guy is smaller. Okay, so if the increase in demand is bigger than the increase in supply, we know that actually price would go up. All right, now here, let's do it again. Actually, let's do this one first. When demand increase is exactly equals to the supply increase. Now, so we know price will remain unchanged. But then let's say this one is increase and decrease. Okay? Then this time it will go unchanged. Is that correct? Now I leave it a question mark here first. Alright? 嗱，記住啊，唔可以咁諗㗎。You can't think like this. You can't think like this. Because this guy is very troublesome. That's why I skip number 2 first. I jump to number 3. This is a big question mark. Okay? Now here, let's do it again. Demand increase, P increase, Q increase. Supply increase, decrease, P increase, Q decrease. Obviously, price would goes up. Here, you see, 又係呢個大啲係咪啊？ So automatically you will think, this one is bigger, this one is smaller. So you will say, quantity would goes up, right? Actually, this is actually a big question mark. We are uncertain. 發生咩事啊？嗱，即係咩意思啊？ If both changes together concerning price, you just look at the shift itself. 邊個 shift 得多啲？ Whoever shift more, they will be the winner in the price war. But when it comes to quantity transacted, you can't just look at the shift, but you also have to look at other things, which we learn in chapter 10. We call elasticity of demand or elasticity of supply. Okay, basically, elasticity of demand, elasticity of supply. Okay, so when we want to be certain in these type of question, the way we write should be like this. If the increase in Q due to increase in demand is bigger than the decrease in Q due to decrease in supply, then ultimately QT would increase. Now, you cannot skip words like this. 你寫明啦 ，increase in Q, decrease in Q. OK， 因為點解？你講咗 increase in Q 同 decrease in Q， 你就好自然啊。Naturally, you already include the effect of both the shift and elasticity. Okay, so this is the way you write it when it comes to quantity transacted. Now let's think about why. Okay, now let's do some logical thinking. I skipped the graph for here. Let's do some logical thinking. 我哋諗一諗 logic 先，好嘛？嗱 remember when we talk about equilibrium, QD equals to QS. Let's say 100, 1000 originally. 好嘛？ Let's say originally 1000. 好嘛？ Now this is equilibrium. Now let's say right now demand increase by 1000. Supply decrease by 500. OK， 嗱，而家假設啦 ，demand 升1000 ，supply 跌500啦。So immediacy 嗱 ，without a change in price， 我哋價錢未變㗎嚇。Immediacy you see the new QD becomes 2000. The new QS 500， 係咪啊？2000同埋5000啦，500啦 ，right？ Immediately you see QD bigger than QS at when price remains unchanged. What do we call this? We call this a shortage. When there is a shortage, how would price adjust? When there is a shortage, price would go up. Right? Hence, you see, we are certain price would go up. 我哋點解知道啦 ？price 一定向上啦 ，because this is the reason, right? 好啦 ，now according to the law of demand and law of supply, when price goes up, QD would go down, QS would go up, right? 係咪啊 ？We know that law of demand, law of supply. Now the problem is this. Let's draw a line here. Originally, we are at 1000, 係咪 ？Now, we have 2 points. 1, 500. This is our new QS. Another point, 2000. This is our QD. When price goes up, naturally, QD and QS would walk towards each other until a point. Until 幾時啊？記唔記得？Until QD equals to QS again. But the problem is 問題就係啦 problem is the law of demand and law of supply only says they will go this way and this way. But they never say who runs faster. 佢冇講邊個跑得快啲啊。So there are 3 situations. First possibility. Let's say QS run this fast, QD runs this low, and ending point, let's say 1500. So you see, compared to the original, actually Q increases in this case. Second case, let's say QS moves very slowly, QD moves very quickly, ending up at here 750. You see, in this case, Q would decrease. Finally, final case, let's say QS moves this way and QD moves this way, ending up at 1000. Q remains unchanged. So you see, 見唔見啊？就算 demand shift 得多過 supply, we actually still have to depend on their so-called elasticity, the speed of moving together, in order to be certain whether Q would increase, decrease, or remains unchanged. Okay, this is the logic behind. Now, 下面唔明嘅有佢啦 ，OK？ If you truly do not understand, then you only need to remember one thing. When you talk about QT, changing QT, you must write if increase in Q bigger than decrease in Q. Don't just write if demand increase is bigger than supply decrease. No. This is wrong. Write clearly if increase in Q due to increase in demand bigger than decrease in Q due to decrease in supply. Okay, this is the way you write it. 得唔得啊？ So let's do one example. The final one. Let's go to the final page. Page 13. Page 30. Sorry. Now page 30. This is this question. Tobacco tax. It says it's an indirect tax. Discourage people from smoking. Now here, in addition to rise in tobacco duty, now this sentence, rise in tobacco duty, it means that supply of tobacco would decrease. Or legal, okay, the legal one. Supply of the legal tobacco, 合法嗰啲啦, would decrease. The customs has made more effort to prevent illegal sales of duty not paid, and crack down several illegal sellers. This sentence means that the supply of illegal cigarettes, 私煙啦，大家最中意啦, will decrease. Now it asks, is it possible that the quantity transacted of this illegal one would increase? Alright, so let's draw the diagram first. Okay, now originally, let's see the original case. Original case, this is our demand one, this is our supply one. Now, let me skip the price because the question is asking QT. I skip the price, okay? Now you see now. Originally, this is our Q1. Now we know supply of illegal, supply of illegal cigarettes would decrease due to some crackdown. So, let me use another pen. So you see, decrease, this is a decrease in supply. But then, what does it have to do with this sentence? Now think about it. When supply of legal one decrease, meaning price of legal cigarette would increase, then QD of legal cigarette would decrease. How would it affect the demand for the illegal one? Actually, it would increase. If you remember from our previous videos, 唔食合法煙食咩啊？食私煙咯，咪唔知邊個咁重口味食私煙啊？係咪 ？Now here you see, so QD of it decrease. Why it would lead to an increase in illegal demand? This is because they belongs to substitute relationship, 係咪啊？佢哋係一個 substitute 啦。So here, let's also do demand. Let's say this time the demand increased by a whole lot. D2, okay? So you see, finally, the quantity transacted may increase in this case. Okay, so the verbal explanation. First, you need to establish demand for illegal cigarette would increase. Then second, you also say the crackdowns means that the supply of illegal would decrease. Finally, you say, 記唔記得啊？ D 上升 if the increase in quantity due to demand increase is bigger than the decrease in quantity due to decrease in supply, then in this case the final QT would increase. just as in our case. Okay, this is the way we answer this question. Again, remember, the wording should be increase in Q, decrease in Q, not just increase in demand bigger than decrease in supply, not just like this. Okay, this is the correct way of writing. 得唔得？ Alright, so let us use the remaining time to finish all the examples together. Let's go back to page 19. Page 19 here. Alright, now suppose both price and quantity transacted decreases. Now it says P and Q decreases. Under what situation can both price and quantity decrease? Now let's refer back to our table. The only situation when both are decreased when demand decrease. OK， 我哋淨係得啦。當 demand 跌嘅時候，兩個會跌晒啦。That means the thing we want is a decrease in demand. So this is likely caused by increase in transportation cost, resulting in higher fuel price. 呢個咩意思啊？呢個 production cost increase 啊嘛。When production cost increase, it means supply decrease, not the answer we want. We want demand decrease. Okay. C, bad harvest. Bad harvest meaning supply decrease, not the answer we want. D, increase in income given the normal goods. 記唔記得？ When income increase, then demand for normal goods should increase. Again, not the answer we want. So B is the answer. A change in taste. Let's say people do not a change in it from consuming rice to noodles, meaning demand for rice would decrease. The answer we want. 得唔得？ Right, now next one. Most Hong Kong people use either town gas or electricity. 即係咩意思啊？ It means this sentence means that both of them are substitute. 用一個就唔用第二個啦。Suppose there is a drastic increase in electricity charge. Here, when price of electricity increase, that means the QD of electricity would decrease. Because of their substitute relationship, demand for gas would increase. 係咪啊？ Now here, consumer expenditure on electricity. Okay, TE of electricity equals to P times Q. But here, we know P increase, Q increase. So, do you know increase or decrease? Do not know. Now, what about total expenditure on town gas? P times Q as well. When demand for gas increase, it means that price and quantity will both increase. Here, both increase. We know that this must increase. So, the answer, D. 得唔得？ So, this is the way we think about total expenditure. 得唔得？ Now, next one. If the number of swine flu vaccine increases, manufacturing increases, it means supply increase. And the risk of being infected increases. When risk increases, people would want to take more vaccine, so the demand for vaccine would increase. Meaning, we need D2 because comparing D0 and D2, D2 increase and S2 increase. 係咪啊？ So D2 and S2, their intersection is E4 here. D is the answer that we want. Okay, 得唔得？ So this is the answer we want. Next one. Now the diagram shows imported Japanese automobile. Imported Japanese automobile is X. Now here, suppose it is rumored that technical problem may cause traffic accident. Now, if you know there are traffic accident, what does it mean? Will you buy more or buy less of Japanese automobile? Of course, you will buy less. Demand decrease. Now, this one, demand decrease. Actually, the next sentence, I will cross it out. Because this one, you will learn in your Form 6 when it comes to international trade. Okay, international trade. You will find that in terms of Hong Kong dollars, 係咪？ In terms of Hong Kong dollars, you will see that 係咪？原來啦，用香港嘅錢嚟計 ，since Japanese yen appreciates 係咪啊 ？So no matter what Japanese price， 不論佢原先係幾多錢啊 ，OK？ 不論啊，佢原先係幾多錢 ，you will find that you want to buy less. Under all prices, you will buy less. Okay, so this one actually also affects demand. So this question actually supply unchanged. So cross it out. Cross it out. Okay, now this is a very outdated question. You will know what I mean when it comes to the international trade chapter. All right, so this one, don't mind me. All right, moving on, next one. Here, the government has imposed an environmental levy, here, tax, okay, on shopping bags. That means the supply of shopping bags would decrease, but not on reusable bags. Suppose there is also an increase in the number of producers of these reusable bags. What does that mean? It means the supply of reusable bags would increase. 多咗人整啊嘛 ，supply would increase. Alright, now here again 又嚟啦吧。When supply of shopping bags decrease, that means the price of shopping bags would increase. QD would decrease of shopping bags. Now, how would it affect the demand for reusable bag? It will increase again because they belong to substitute relationship. So here, both demand and supply increase. As a result, the total sales revenue, now think about it. Supply increase, P decrease, Q increase. Demand increase, P increase, Q increase. So obviously we know Q must increase. But what about price? We actually do not know. So do you know how total expenditure will change? Actually, it's a question mark. 我鬼知啊 So D is the answer. Don't be tricked. 唔好太快諗得，呢個升，所以加碼一定升啦。No. You don't think like this. Alright? You have to go through these steps. Think about the ultimate change in price and quantity. Okay? Again, this actually depends on elasticity of demand. 得唔得？ Alright, next page. Hotel accommodation. Alright? 好啦，望一望啦。Suppose there is a bomb attack in a subway station. 好啦，有 bomb attack. So, would you want to go to London? I would not. At least for me, I love my life. I won't go. So, demand would decrease. Rise in operating costs. 而 operating cost 係咩意思啊 ？Meaning supply would decrease. Cost increase, supply would decrease. So, we need both go down. The only answer, W. 好嘛，我唔嘥時間啦。好 Now, next one. Original equilibrium. Let's see. Now, printer books in Hong Kong. Suppose there is a trend to read electronic books. What does that mean? When you read electronic books, demand for electronic books increase. That means demand for printer books will decrease. Why? Substitute relationship. 係嘛？你見啦，嚟嚟去去三幅被係咪啊？ and there is a rise in the price of printing paper. What does that mean? It means your cost increases. So supply of printed books will decrease. Decrease. So the only answer we can have is easy here. 係咪 easy C 啦 OK 兩個跌啊因為 OK 得唔得跌 drop and drop. Now next one. Train accident affects the confidence using high-speed electric train. So this one, train accident, demand for train would decrease. Now, but also think about it. 你話唔係喎條題目 We have both train and air service. When demand for train decreases, how would it affect the demand for air service? I think you already know the answer. Increase. Reason simple. Because they belong to substitute relationship. Okay? Now, next one. Airline facing problem rising fuel price. That means supply of air services would decrease because cost increases. So let's write it out clearly. 我哋有嘅資訊係咩啊 Here. Demand for train decreases. Next. Demand for air service increase plus supply of air service decrease. This is the things that we have. So let's look at C and D first. Train. Train 係咪就係 demand 跌啊 Yeah, okay. Supply unchanged, demand decrease. So D is the answer. Now let's look at A and B. Demand increase, but here demand decrease. So A is incorrect. B is also incorrect. Okay, air service, we know that demand should increase. So D is the answer we want. Okay, not too difficult. Alright, next one. 好多啊今次係嘛 Now, if the government increase stamp duty, now this stamp duty 係印花稅啊 OK 印花稅 OK This is 印花稅 On buy 啊唔該睇清楚啊 On buy 啊買嗰個人要俾啊 So this time actually demand would decrease On buy 啊 tightens the control of dumping 係嘛 On dumping of waste That means your so-called production cost would increase Therefore supply would also decrease We need both supply and demand to decrease. Let's see. We need to S1 and we need D1. S1 and D1. The only intersection we can find will be E2. B is the answer. Okay, 得唔得 This is the way we do it. Next one. Now, so you see, 係咪做咗發覺做嚟做去三幅被啊 Yes. Demand and supply is never difficult individually. The most difficult thing about demand and supply will be that when things mix together, it can be quite clumsy. Okay, 嗱望一望啦 luxury watches. Okay, here rental rise sharply. Rent 咩意思啊 Cost increase. Therefore, supply decrease. 係咪啊 Economy in mainland experiences a recession. Now, when you experience recession, that means your income will decrease. When income decrease, because these are luxury watches belongs to normal goods. So, demand for luxury watches will decrease. Decrease. We need both S1 and D2 係咪 S1 and D2 the only point we see E2 Okay that's how we do it 好啦 now this one is difficult Now the question is asking this A drop in the price of PX also lead to a drop in PY This is going to be very difficult OK 嗱難在邊啊 How come price affect price? We need to break it down. Okay? Now, how do we break it down? Now, first of all, we start with PX. When PX, decrease. When PX decrease, we need to go both ways. Because here, substitute complement, they belong to demand relationship. Competitive supply and joint supply, they belong to supply relationship. So, we need to break it down into two steps. According to the law of demand, PX 下跌啦 law of demand, QD of X would increase. 係咪？好啦 according to the law of supply, QS of X would decrease. 好啦，但係最後我哋 we need PY to decrease. Now, there can only be two situations when PY decreases. First situation, demand decrease. Second situation, supply increase. You agree, right? 係咪啊？ You know that. So here, we need demand to decrease. And we also need supply to decrease. Under what situation would increase in QDX leads to a decrease in demand of Y? 咩情況之下先會啊？ I think you already know the answer. They are substitute. Here, when QS of X decrease, supply of Y also decrease. This one should increase, right? Sorry. The only situation you can think of is that when they belong to competitive supply. So the answer, number 1 and 3. Okay? Now, this is a difficult question because it requires a lot of breaking down. You first need to think, when would price decrease, demand decrease, or supply increase? Then you need to break it down. When PX decreases, law of demand, law of supply. Finally, you connect this one and this one together using substitute, complement, competitive supply, and joint supply. Okay, so you see several levels of thinking. Not exactly easy, all right? But once you know the step, it shouldn't be too difficult for you. Okay, so let us move on. We are almost there. Okay, 2014. Now, if people become more open-minded to cosmetic surgery, now here, cosmetic surgery market, more open-minded, meaning demand increase. 我諗大家諗到啦，係咪？ More regulations are imposed on cosmetic. More regulations, meaning that the cost would increase. When cost would increase, supply would decrease. So we need demand increase, but supply decrease. D1, S2. This is our E3. 係嘛？ This is the answer that we want. Okay? 係咪啊？ So here, E3, C is the answer. Here, C. Now next one. Now 2016, so you know, trouble, right? Now, which of the following situation would lead to an increase in the demand for private housing? 該睇清楚啊 Increase in demand. We need demand for private housing to increase. Okay, so let's do it. First, price of private housing decreases. 記唔記得啊 If price decreases, it is a QD increase. 係咪 demand increase 啊 No, it is a quantity demanded increase. So, unfortunately, no, this is not the answer. Supply of public housing increases. Let's see. When supply of public housing increases, that means price of public housing would decrease. QD of public housing would increase. Now, because public housing and private housing, they are substitute relationship. So, demand for private housing would actually decrease. Unfortunately, also not the answer we are looking for. Now, let's look at D. People expect the price to increase later. 好啦 if price of private would increase later, right? Later. Then what would you do? You will want to save money. And in what way can you save money? You buy more now. So the demand for private housing now would increase now. This is the answer we want. Now C. I suggest you only listen once and then you forget about it. Now, remember, whenever we talk about assets, asset price is inversely proportional to interest rate. This is a finance relationship. 呢個第時你學 finance 就會學㗎啦。But again, so here, people expect the interest rate to increase later. That only means the asset price will change. When price changes, it is only a change in QD, not a change in demand. Alright, so C is also incorrect, unfortunately. Alright, so moving on. Taxi service. We are talking about taxi service. Now, suppose there is a new app for smartphone developed to enable some private car owners to provide general public. 係咪啊？即係啦，有 private car, demand for these private services increases. That would means demand for taxi would decrease. Why? 又嚟多次啦 because the relationship we call substitute. So demand decrease on one hand. On another hand, fuel price decreases significantly. Alright, significantly 係咪啊？好跌得好勁啦。Fuel price decrease meaning the cost decreases. Supply of taxi services would increase. 好啦 decrease demand, increase supply. Decrease demand, increase supply. The only place we find would be E2. Okay? 係咪做嚟做去三幅被啊？覺得 Alright, finally. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Just now phone call. Alright, advertisement from bank asking for a loan. Okay. Now here, obviously I don't need a loan, right? 係咪阿 Sir 都唔係好大細啫，唔使借錢啦。Now anyway, let's come back here. The demand for construction workers would increase. We need the demand for worker to increase. Alright. Now, if legal procedure for urban redevelopment are simplified. 好啦，唔知你睇唔睇明呢句講咩啊 ？Urban redevelopment basically meaning building 係咪起樓啦 ？Buildings become easier 係咪啊？而家啦 ，buildings become easier. So in order to build more buildings, what do you need? You need more workers. Right? So I think A is the answer, but I'm not sure, okay? I'm not sure. So let's read B, C, and D first. Alright, now, wage rate decreases. 記唔記得？ Wage decrease, it is the QD for worker increase, but not demand for worker, so B is not correct. The government provides more allowance for training program for construction industry. 好啦，喂 more allowance for training, so more people go training. 喂，多咗人去 training， 即係咩意思啊 ？Fewer worker， 個個就讀書啊，唔做嘢啊。So actually, this one leads to a supply of worker decrease. Still not the answer we want. Alright? There are fewer job opportunities in Macau. 好啦，如果 Macau 少咗啊 ，few Macau. That means more people will come to Hong Kong to work. But that only means the supply of worker would increase in Hong Kong. Still not the answer we want. So yes, A is the answer that I need. Okay? Now, finally, which of the following would likely lead to an increase in demand for iPhone? Technological breakthrough reduce its production cost. 咩意思啊？ When cost decrease, supply would increase but not demand. We want demand for Apple to increase, not supply. Okay? People expect the next model more innovative feature. Well, if you expect more innovative feature later, then I think you will not buy it now. Demand now would decrease. 你梗係留翻啲錢買下一代啦，係咪？ So unfortunately, no. Model of Samsung banned by many airlines. 即係咩意思啊？ The so-called quantity of Samsung decreases. Now, when quantity of Samsung decreases, demand for Apple would increase. Why? 又嚟咯喎 Because they belong to substitute relationship. C is the answer. Now, reduce selling price. 記唔記得啊 Price decrease, it means QD would increase, not demand increase. OK 係咪啊？嗱，講到口臭啊都係咪啊 So let us move on. I don't want to waste too much time here. 2 more MCs and we are ready to go to the short questions and long questions. Alright? Now, suppose good Y is an inferior good. 講明 inferior good OK? Now, people income rises, income increase, then demand for inferior good would decrease. 係咪 Production cost of good Y increase, cost increase, supply will also decrease. 係咪啊 Now, demand decrease. When demand decrease, price would decrease. Supply decrease, price would increase. So, what happens to the price? May increase or decrease. How do I know? How do I know who increase, who decrease? Right? 我鬼知啊 Right? So, easy. One more. 2018 now. Unfortunately, when I make this note, I still haven't got the 2019. I just got the paper 2 weeks ago. So I promise you, sometimes later, I will look at 2019 with you guys together, maybe as a revision. All right. Now, anyway, the average waiting time for public housing, 4.7 years. Now, make your average waiting time. 即係原先係咩啊 Here we have a shortage. 要等即係有 shortage 係咪 Now, which of the following lead to an increase in waiting time for public housing? Meaning, we need shortage to increase. Now, for shortage to increase, there can only be 2 situations. Either demand for public housing increase or supply of public housing decreases. That way, shortage would increase. 係咪啊 ？Longer waiting time 啊嘛。A. Financial aid offered to low-income families renting private. 喂，如果有 financial aid what does that mean? That means demand for private would increase. So, demand for public would decrease. Why? 又嚟啦喎。哇，出咗幾多次啊？呢個已經，我出到門啦，係咪啊 ？Substitute. But unfortunately, this is not the answer we want. We need demand to increase. Rise in the income limit of applying for public housing. Income limit 嗰個所謂叫做入息啊，入息上限。Okay? Rise in the income limit. When we have a rise in income limit, meaning more people can apply. When more people can apply, it means demand for public housing would increase. So I think B is the answer we want. But let's look at C and D first. Alright? Relaxation of rules regarding the change of land use. 好啦，如果change becomes easier, then I think the supply of private housing would increase. When supply of private housing increases, price would decrease. leading to QD of private housing decrease. Then you see public housing, the demand will decrease because of substitute. 我唔解啦，講話。Now D, provision of shared housing unit by a billionaire 係咪啊？好啦，即係咩意思？呢個又係咯，其實 meaning demand for this shared house would increase. Not demand, supply. Okay, supply. Then QD of this share house would increase. 好啦，咁 QD of share house increase, leading to decrease in the demand for public housing. Why? 又嚟咯 ，substitute 咯。So you see, very boring question. 係咪啊？出嚟三幅皮㗎，好悶㗎。Alright, so let's be done with the rest of the 2 pages, and we can call it off. We can call it off with this video. Okay, now 2010, 1 month after the first phase of implementation of plastic bag, 係咪有 tax 啊 ？Tax increase in the quantity of reusable bag, okay, was reported. Okay, now we need to explain the change in total revenue. Okay, 嗱望一望發生咩事咯 ？Here, with this tax, it means supply of shopping bag would decrease. 好啦 ，supply of shopping bag decrease. That means price of shopping bags increase. QD of shopping bag decreases. 好啦，即係咩意思啊？ That means the demand for reusable bags would increase. Why? Think about why. 點解啊 ？Again, substitute. Alright? 好啦 we need to. Now this is the verbal explanation. Now let's draw the graph here. Supply right here. This is our demand one. Okay, original P1, Q1. Now it says quantity increase in the quantity sold. 係咪啊 So we draw it clearly. Because substitute relationship. Now demand also increases. 記唔記得 Q2 increases. Price also increases. Total revenue of reusable bags. Actually, here you see, TE would increase simply because both P and Q increases. Finally, we indicate the increase in TE is this area. OK， 嗱係咪啊？開始做熟咗啦，發覺唔係咁難啦。Alright, next page. There was a boom in property market. Hot money flow into the property market. 嗱，呢叫熱錢啊 ，hot money. Basically meaning more people wants to buy houses. Okay. On the other hand, the government put more land up for public auction in order to curb the overheating of property market. Now here, when they have put up more land, 係咪啊？嗱 ，price of land sold 唔係 price of land sold 啊，係咪？我要睇個 price 會點變啊？嗱 ，on one hand 係咪 more land for auction, more land of auction for auction, meaning supply of this so-called land would increase. 係咪 supply of land increases. On the other hand, hot money increases, meaning the demand for houses would increase. When demand for houses increase, then the demand for land would also increase. Why? What is that relationship? We call that derived demand. No land. How are you supposed to build houses? So we have both increase in supply and increase in demand. Now explain under what condition would the price increases. Now the condition is like this. If the increase in demand is bigger than the increase in supply, then price would increase. Let us say, increase in price due to demand. No. This is price, okay? Not quantity transacted. Now, let's draw the diagram. Now, when you think about logic, you need to write supply of land increase, then hot money, meaning the demand for houses increase. Due to derived demand, the demand for land would also increases. Alright, now let's see. Now this one a little bit tricky. Alright, now originally demand here. Remember, this is land, public land, undeveloped land, 未開發嘅土地啊。So originally supply. This is S1, this is our D1. Now this is the price. Now 因為佢問 price 嘛 I skip Q. I only focus on price. Now this time we need price to increase. So let's draw it this way. I increase supply by a little bit, but I increase demand by a whole lot. Okay? D2. So you see, finally, price of the public auctioned land would increase. This is how we draw the diagram for this question. Okay, done that. So let us move on. Now, not too difficult. I think it's time to move on. Now, the government has decided to reintroduce home ownership scheme. 居者有其屋啊 ，OK? Under a great discount. 佢話啦，呢個啦 eligible citizen can purchase at a great discount. With the demand supply diagram, how reintroduction would cool down the private housing market. Now we need price to decrease. 係咪啊 ？Price of public. Now think of this home ownership scheme as kind of like public. 好嘛 ？Kind of like public housing. Alright. 好嘛 ？Now, if they can purchase at a great discount, okay, at a great discount, 係嘛 ？Reintroduce. That means more people would go for the home ownership scheme houses. 咁呢個有咩重要啊 ？That means the demand for private housing would decrease. Why? Because HOS and private housing, their relationship 又嚟啦 substitute. Alright? Now, because of this, you will see price would decrease. 係嘛 ？Price will decrease 咯。得唔得？ Now, diagram. Now, here I draw a very small one because it's not difficult. Supply, here, original supply. D1. Now, a decrease in demand. D2. You see, P2, P1. You see, there is a decrease. 係咪？嗱，我唔畫多啦，好嘛？ Now, finally, here, number 2. Without the use of a diagram, explain how mortgage interest rate could be adjusted to cool down the private housing market. 係咪？我哋諗一諗啦。Now, actually, when mortgage rate increases, that means people's cost of borrowing would increase. When their cost of borrowing increases, would they want to borrow more or borrow less? Here, the so-called QD of mortgage would decrease. When QD of mortgage decreases, that means the demand for private housing would also decrease. Why? Now, I think you kind of can say this. Without mortgage, how are you supposed to get a housing. So I would kind of say this is like a compliment. 係咪啊？你要有你係兩個一齊做噶嘛？買樓去整 mortgage 一齊做噶嘛 ？Kind of like a compliment there. Alright. So with this, price decreases. Now then you may be asking, how come I don't call it derived demand? Now think about it. You don't need a mortgage to make a house. 你唔係用 mortgage 嚟整一間屋啊嘛，係咪 ？This is not a factor of production for private housing, all right? But they only use together. They usually go together. Price would decrease. Now, you see this question quite confusing, especially when you go back to this one. Especially when you go back to this one, 係咪啊 ？Interest rate and mortgage loan. Now, here the biggest difference is when they talk about expectation, all right? But again, I wouldn't bother with it if I were you. Just think this is a bad question, okay? This is a bad one. Just think like this and be done with it, okay? Stick with the question we just do now. Stick with this one. Stick with this one. I think this is the more reasonable explanation. All right, final page, and then we are done. Now, the Hong Kong government, they plan to introduce 港人港地, okay? Now, can be sold to Hong Kong permanent resident within 30 years, all right? Now, compare with similar flats in the same district without reselling restriction. Would the price of a flat be higher or lower? Explain. I think you all know the answer. Would be lower, right? The reason is simple. Because with the restrictions, with these restrictions, then the speculative demand 係咪啊？嗰啲啊投資嗰啲啊 speculative demand would decrease, meaning price would decrease. So we guess the price will be lower 係咪啊？記住啊 ，there are two kinds of people. First, some people buy the house for living. Another type of people buy the house for selling, all right, for speculation. With this restriction, I think most of the investor would be discouraged. That is why the speculative demand would decrease, meaning the price would decrease. So we guess price will be lower. OK 嗱，其實都係啊，港人港地點解要搞港人港地啊？就係想啲樓平啲啊嘛，放本地人嗰啲樓平啲啫嘛。This is the objective, right? So this is also in line, 係咪啊 ？This is also in line with the objective of the policy. 係咪啊 ？Alright, final question and we are done. Okay? 好啦 ，one child policy. Here it says no more one child policy. No more one child policy. Alright, now Good Baby, they a manufacturer for children's product. Now without using a diagram, explain how come the stock price. Now think about it. Think about this. One child with the abolishment of one child policy, then you will expect the so-called business. Sorry. The demand for baby product, baby product would decrease, would increase, right? Would increase, right? So that means the business of Good Baby would be better. Now, when you expect the business to be better, people would buy the stock. They will expect stock price to goes up. When you expect the stock price to goes up, then demand for stock would increase. So price would actually increase. Okay, this is the way we answer without using a diagram. Alright, so let me double check. Right, I think this is officially the end of the whole set of notes. Alright, and this is also the final video on the revision of demand and supply. Again, we have made 4 videos. Now first one, we talk about demand. Second, we talk about supply, which is very short video. Now the third one, we talk about equilibrium and disequilibrium. And final one, which is this video, we talk about a change in demand and supply and how it would affect the market price and quantity transacted. Okay, so for the next video, I'm going to talk about some past paper. Let's see if it is necessary. All right, let's see if it is necessary to make that video. If there is such video, we will talk about the past papers on chapter 8 and chapter 9. All right, so until then, it has been a very tiring video. All right, a very tiring video series, but I also understand this chapter is important. So no matter how tiring it is, please make sure you keep revising this chapter, demand and supply. All right, this is the cornerstone of the whole economic syllabus. All right, now until then, I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.